Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
PatrickByrne, the former CEO of Overstock.com, just now resigning, coming out on Fox News, dropping major bombshell last night on SpyGate, Russia, the Russian collusion, and who was colluding, who was involved, the FBI, and everything that they have done that we've documented right here, whether it be George Papadopoulos, General Flynn, it doesn't matter. All the stories are identical, and now we have what is virtually a whistleblower coming out and saying, hey, I was working for the FBI, and this is exactly how it went down. I felt like I needed to come out now because I can see, I'm witnessing the soft coup. I've been silent for 12 months, and I will not be silent no more. Here's my story. Here's what they did. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news and the soft coup or the attempt to coup of a presidential election, and give you the real news every single night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Right after the show at 8 is the Wayne Dupree Show, and down in the description below are the links for everything you need. The show notes link, share that with your friends and family because this show is embedded in the article so they can watch the show and go through the notes as well. For those of you who've been watching the show for years, you know that we've been covering the SpyGate ordeal. We know that it was a hoax. We know that it was an attempt to overthrow a duly elected president. We know all of this. Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Comey, whoever, Rod Rosenstein, we know the dirty deeds on the back end of that, Mueller and the angry attorneys and Weissman and all of them working for the Clintons and the cover-up. We know all that already. We know that, so I'm not going to beat that up. Matter of fact, I think I said that we had a moratorium on SpyGate, Russiagate on this show, and we weren't going to do it anymore. I just can't do it. I can't take it. Epoch Times absolutely on top of all of this, doing a phenomenal job. Sarah Carter writing an article that we're going to showcase on the show tonight. And John Solomon, just phenomenal investigative reporters exposing all of the dirty deeds that are on the left, all on the Democrat Party side, all on the Democrat deep staters, those that are involved, hired on in the government, that are working, not even being told to, but that are working to prevent Donald Trump from getting his agenda done. And it's throughout the government. It is just absolutely so awful. But as we get started here, guys, this is show. I've got to talk to you about what happened last night. If you didn't see it, breaking news over the night, Overstock.com. Former CEO, the CEO resigned, PatrickByrne resigned and went on Fox News and said, I got a story to tell you. You're not going to believe this. He also sat down with a couple different investigative reporters, and one of them was Sarah Carter. About a 3-hour interview. She's got an incredible article down in the description if you want to read the exact details. I'm just going to give you the highlights and my opinion of what happened, what's going down, and this our good friend at Soar on the Wings. Whirlwind in D.C. Overstock CEO resigns, then drops bomb on live TV. Tech boss said he spied for the FBI on Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio. Reveals Peter Strzok gave the orders. Says Attorney General Barr, we have a rule of law, and why he is coming out on this.
This is what I mean. Because 17 years ago, I helped them crack a murder, and they knew me, and I helped them a bit on Wall Street 12 years ago. They knew me, and they called me in 2015, 2016 to assist in something. And I didn't know who the orders came from, but I assisted. It's some very honorable federal agents and very honorable people, but they named some names, and well, they didn't name the names, that's it. I didn't know who it came from. And I took some orders that seemed a little fishy in 2015, 2016. Last summer, watching television, I figured out the name of who sent me the orders, and this has all now been confirmed to me. The name of the man who sent me the orders was a guy named Peter Strzok.
Oh,
Does that
my
mean
goodness.
anything? Got it? Capiche?
Yeah.
So this is going to be quite a whirlwind. And I have to, it's only
That's
right.
huge
I gotta get away
news,
from
Peter.
it.
That hasn't been revealed so far as I know as of yet, but that's
this is it.
Peter
You're the
Strzok.
guy,
So
you're the
are you
show.
working with the Attorney General in his investigation?
Let me be clear. I'm not working with anybody. I want to spend the rest of my life. The last time I talked to federal officers 5 months ago, and I explained everything to them between April 5th and 30th over a course of 7 hours, and then I disappeared. Bill Barr, there's going to be a sculpture of granite of this guy somewhere. I've been sitting on this stuff for 3 years. I couldn't come forward until there was rule of law in this country. I wasn't going to go forward when this guy, Jeff Sessions, Truman said of an opponent, I could carve a better man out of a banana. That's how America should feel about Jeff Sessions. We have rule of law, and I came forward to them in April. I believe what I understand, and I don't want to get in any federal way. I want to disappear, but there are other whistleblowers from within the federal bureaucracy with similar stories. And I can tell you the bottom line, and again, people didn't seem to get it last time. The bottom line is the big cover-up. There was political espionage conducted against Hillary Clinton, Mark Rubio.
And this our good friend at Winston Kofefe. Russia probe twist, red-headed Russian spy, a billion-dollar CEO, and the FBI and DeepState. A story you should read. This by SarahCarter.com. PatrickByrne, again, came out last night and told his story on Fox News, as you can see by the clip. Just absolutely damning. Now, for those of you out there saying, this guy is crazy, this guy is going nuts. No, this is what the media is trying to paint. They attempted to paint him as crazy way back in the day when he came out against Wall Street. They tried to paint him as some kind of crazy nut jobs and created a picture and propaganda with spaceships and aliens. No, the guy's not crazy. The guy really is on top of it, and people have already documented factual things that this guy has said and has done and has been involved with the FBI. It is confirmed he was working with the FBI. This goes all the way back to 2015 when he was working with the FBI as a low-level informant, going all the way back to 2015. PatrickByrne was an actual keynote speaker at the Freedom Fest, July 11th, 2015. It was a 3-4 day long Freedom Fest. Matter of fact, Donald Trump was also a keynote speaker at this event. This event, the Russian 26-year-old college grad, Maria Bertuma, actually met with him, attempted to get involved with him, was talking with him and trying to persuade him to work with her. He pushes back. He says, no, I don't think so. She then pursues him throughout the entire time, and finally they actually meet up. They have a sit-down conversation. They start talking. He's enjoying her company. She's a beautiful 26-year-old bombshell right out of college. She's Russian. She claims to have been working for Russian interest in the banking industry and some of the oligarchs and whatnot in Russia. She says that I'd like for you to meet them, talk with them, give a speech about the Second Amendment in America, talking about, gun rights in America. And there was a twist to this at one point in time. The media was trying to paint the NRA because she was talking to the NRA. She tried to talk to other Republican influencers and bigwigs in the Republican Party. And this was all set up, I believe, all set up on the back channel, and she didn't even know it. After reading this article, you'll see exactly what I'm saying, guys. I don't think she knew it, because we know that the Russians were working with the Ukraine, and we know that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, Joe Biden, were working with the Ukrainian government that was corrupted and infiltrated by Russia. I believe personally that this woman was sent, unbeknownst to her, to do a job, to actually get involved, and no matter who won the election, that their organization had contacts with whoever won the presidency. And so after this keynote speech, after he gave this speech at the Freedom Fest Act, a romantic relationship started to kind of get together. She was sending kind of hot text messages to him, and he was nervous about this because he was worried. that this could jeopardize his security clearance with the FBI, and he was a little bit nervous. So right after they meet at the Freedom Fest, he calls the FBI. There's a phone number, a hotline when you have a clearance and you work for the FBI. So he called the hotline, gave him a heads up on what was going on, and asked the FBI what should he do about this. The FBI gave him vague instructions, and he wasn't quite sure. And so they kind of left it at that. But again, like I said, she was sending him text messages, getting into long conversations with him. They were talking about everything from politics to life in general. And so just developing a relationship. Well, she asked him to meet him in New York City and said, when I get together, I want to talk about an upcoming trip that we can put you on so that you can meet some of these oligarchs. And so he absolutely had to call the FBI back and said, hey, you guys got to really be clear with me. This can no longer be vague. You got to give me the goods. What is going on? What should I do? FBI gives him the green light, says, yes, pursue this woman. And so he had the meeting in December 2015. So when he got to New York City, he rented 2 hotel rooms. And by the time he got there, he didn't realize this, but Maria actually got there before him. And whether he set it up in their names or not, I don't know the details on that. But she was actually waiting in the hotel room when he got there. And so he quickly found out that those text messages about being a little hot and bothered, that's for reals. That was no joke. So they kind of uneasy and really unsure. He didn't know if she was a spy or didn't know if her intentions were good or not good. December 2015, calling the FBI often, by this time, right after the meeting in New York City, that he had to let the FBI know, hey, this is what she's doing, guys. This is what she's saying to me. She's asking to meet big wigs and heads in the Republican circles, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Donald Trump. And so from January through March of 2016, this is a direct quote from Patrick. He said, I was telling the FBI that I was 50-50, wasn't sure if she was a spy or not, and that this was a real opportunity. And 50 that it was a red sparrow, 50 that it was not. And he said that why don't we get a meeting together with the Council on Foreign Relations? Let's get this together. Get her in here. Have them have a sit down with her and talk to her and clear all this up instead of me, running around with this young girl. And Council on Foreign Relations refused to meet and called it a joke. The men in black were telling him that this was absolutely ridiculous and there was no there. No, don't worry about it. So things kind of just started to fall apart a little bit. He didn't meet with her much after a while. He kept accusing her of being a spy, and she kept swearing. She's like, no, I'm not a spy. I'm not a spy. Again, we don't care who wins. We just want to be involved with the incoming administration. He then he told her, he said, when you're here in America and you're acting as a foreign agent on behalf of your government, you got to register. And these guys and these men in black, they don't play around. I don't know how it goes over in Russia, but here in America, you better get with it and register. She never registered, guys, something that she absolutely should have done, but she didn't. John Solomon wrote an article as we're talking about this. He wrote an article about a woman named Chapman. She was another Russian honeypot from all the way back in 2010. And he wrote the article saying the actions were handled differently than Butina when one of Chapman's associates, who went by the name of Cynthia Murphy, made contact with Alan Pratkov, a major Democrat donor close to Hillary Clinton. The FBI acted swiftly and arrested the entire cell. Prior to 2016 election, when Byrne contacted with Maria, it started to diminish and to cease. It kind of fell apart, the relationship. The government then contacted Patrick again and said, hey, we need you to get back in this relationship with this woman. We need to renew this relationship, renew your contact with her. And he did. He says this comes from the highest of levels. Guys, I'm thinking that he says 2016 prior to the election. I'm thinking this was somewhere around June, July when they were trying to coordinate Russiagate and get a Russian in the Donald Trump campaign. get a Russian spy connected to some Republican somewhere so that the people will believe it, and the media is reporting this. So the timeline is kind of vague. He doesn't exactly say what month it was in 2016, but prior to the election, getting back involved with her. Just kind of remember what was happening, guys. Back March 14th, they were involved with Papadopoulos, and Papadopoulos meeting in Italy with that London professor. That was a scam in itself. They dropped $10,000 cash, a duffel bag on him. He leaves it there in Cyprus. He didn't want to bring none of that back, and luckily he didn't, because when he got back here, Mueller and the MAG team, they were out to get him and arrest him. This is reported by Politico. June 5th, a Russian operative posing as a grassroots activist and using an account at March_4_Trump contacts a volunteer for the Trump campaign in New York who agrees to provide signs for planned rally. The Russian organization runs online advertisement. So they're starting to ramp this up in June of Russiagate. June 15th, hacker going by the name Grucifer 2.0 post stolen documents for the DNC. So we've got two things going at the same time. Hillary Clinton's emails are being passed out, and we're seeing everything that John Podesta and Clintons are doing. We also find out that the Chinese government has a program in Clinton's server that's actually carbon copying every single email coming in and going out. So Clinton's got a lot of problems going on as they're after Papadopoulos, as they're after Carter Page, as they're after somebody. So as we fast forward, July 25th, 2016, the FBI announces its investigation into the DNC hacks. July 26th, Intel officials inform the White House that they have high confidence that Russia is behind the DNC hacks. July 27th, Trump calls on Russia to hack Hillary Clinton's email. No, Trump said, hey, you got those 33,000 emails. We could use them right about now. Yeah, remember all that, guys? July 31st, an interview airs on ABC in which Trump says of Russia's annexing of Crimea, but, quote, but you know, the people of Crimea, from what I've heard, would rather be with Russia than where they were. And you have to look at this also. So now all of a sudden we've got the FBI painting the target of a Russia investigation, and we've got documented proof now. The former CEO of Overstock is now spilling the beans and letting everybody know the exact timeline and that he was involved. And he's been watching this unfold for the last 12 months, keeping his mouth shut. He can't do it no more because he's worried that it's not going the right way. He's worried about the soft attempted coup. Man, you should have been worried a year ago. You should have been talking up about this a long time ago. Why you wait till now? Anyways, I guess better late than never. So back into the article that Sarah Carter wrote, phenomenal article. Back into the article. Butina went on trial as an unregistered agent. Her lawyer, Robert Driscoll, told the FBI, said, hey, you've got to give up the Brady material. Brady material is the exculpatory information. You can't suppress information. As a prosecutor, you can't suppress the information. You've got to let me have access and got to be able to see what's going on. The FBI kept saying, we got nothing. We got nothing. Well, you got the Overstock.com guy. You got PatrickByrne. You got everything he's told you. And he confirmed, he told you, said, no, this girl really is in love and she's really doing what she's doing. She's not a spy. I'm telling you for an absolute fact, she's not a spy. If she was a spy, she'd be in prison for spying, right? So Robert Driscoll, Butina's lawyer, goes ahead yesterday and actually put together some information and said, hey, I'm asking John Durham for professional responsibility here. You guys got to look over everything that went on during her trial, my client's trial, and if there is exculpatory evidence, she needs to be let out. It's unfortunate her sentence ends October 25th, so I mean she's almost out. But a minimum security prison, minimum security. But this is absolutely wrecking the lives of people. Now, I'm not advocating for this woman, saying she's innocent or anything, but I think that absolutely, if evidence was suppressed during her trial, she should get a retrial. Go back to trial and unsuppress. Give up the information. Show prosecutors for the FBI need to give up the information so that she can have a fair trial. Byrne also said that he had a non-standard agreement with the FBI for years and years, and began all the way back in 2015. And he claims that he gave the FBI regarding Maria and her trial exculpatory evidence, which would have let her off the hook. Would have said that she's not an FBI. Byrne also said, and this is a quote, "It was something I knew I had to do. Those running the operation were not honest. And in the end, I realized I was being used in some sort of soft coup. This isn't about Trump. It's about what's right for the American people. The public should know." Byrne said he had a meeting with the DOJ and the attorneys here recently, just April 5th, and again on April 30th, 2019. Said he spent about a total of 7 hours throughout those different meetings. He didn't say exactly who he talked to or who was in the meetings, but the DOJ, the attorneys, I'm telling you guys, if he's giving up this information and he's coming to light with all of this and what he did for the FBI, his main point of contact, Peter Strzok. Yes, guys, Peter Strzok saw an opportunity to be the hero for the left, to be that shining star for the FBI, James Comey, Andrew McCabe, and the rest. He saw an opportunity to be a hero, and he seized upon this when it comes to PatrickByrne. He just took advantage of a situation that he knew he could to help paint the narrative. And again, like I said, he's already met with the FBI here this year, April 2019, for 7 hours. So I'm really excited about what's going to come out about that. Butina, though, she's in Florida's Tallahassee minimum security prison, which ends October 25th. Never investigated by the special counsel, though. Think about that, guys. The special counsel, Robert Mueller's probe, never interviewed, never indicted, never did anything with this woman, but they charged 25 Russian agents with interfering in the U.S. election, but not this woman. Yeah, there's a reason behind that, guys. They couldn't. They barely got her on for not registering as a foreign agent. I mean, they had to suppress evidence for that. They knew in the background they suppressed the evidence. And Mueller knew that was too hot of a potato to touch. He had to walk away from that. Comey and McCabe orchestrating all of this. This was early on when McCabe came on board in early 2016, January, as it's starting to ramp up. He's starting to see all these players involved and which ones we can bring in, which ones not. He was all involved in the whole mix as well. Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Comey, Mueller investigation, and Weissman, and all of this, guys. We're seeing them completely exposed. They did what they did to this Russian woman, Maria Butina. What they did to her, they did to our good friend George Papadopoulos and wrecked his life. What they did to her, what they did to Papadopoulos, they were doing to General Flynn, wrecked his life. And during this whole darn thing, Jeff Sessions meets with Russian ambassadors, which at the time he was allowed to. There wasn't nothing wrong with him meeting with ambassadors. He's an elected official. Then he becomes Attorney General for Donald Trump and then recuses himself the next day. Guys, this is so wretched, awful. Attorney General Barr, I know you got to let the wheels of justice turn and grind on, but something absolutely needs to happen, and it needs to happen fast. It needs to happen before the election is what it needs to happen. It needs to happen. We're coming to the end of the year now. I would say if you want to start rolling things out, start rolling them out little by little. Coming to early 2020, we've got to have people on trial. Absolutely on trial. Peter Strzok, why he's not locked up and been charged with something is beyond me. Lisa Page, beyond me. Now we got Andrew McCabe. What? Andrew McCabe, breaking news today. Yep, this by @DonJTrump Jr. Reminder, Andrew McCabe was fired by the FBI for leaking and getting caught lying about it. Another reminder, CNN ceased being a news organization long time ago. Now they're a full integrated anti-Trump propaganda network, and they don't even try hiding it anymore. This to Oliver Darcy. Some news. CNN announces Andrew McCabe has been signed as a contributor. And the propaganda continues. They sign on Andrew McCabe, disgraced, fired Andrew McCabe, who lost. It was days before he was to retire. They fired him on a Friday, and I think he only had until Monday or Tuesday to retire. His retirement package was to cost taxpayers millions of dollars, depending on how long he lived. Thank goodness that was yanked from him. So now he's over at CNN with more propaganda and a propaganda machine. Guys, Donald Trump is doing everything he possibly can to make America great, to keep America great. We've got to do everything we can. You and I getting involved in the campaign locally is absolutely phenomenal. It's easy. It's no big deal. Contact your local GOP, your Republican Party. If you can't, you don't know how to get involved, hook up with me. Email me, Brian@Smyth.tv. Find me on Twitter, Brian P. Smith, or the show Smyth Television on Twitter. DM me, get involved. I will find out who you need to contact in your city so that you can help out getting involved. We can't drop the ball on this one. If she would have won, think about that just for a split second. If crooked Hillary Clinton would have won the election, none of this would have come to light. We would not have known about any of the cheat, none of the lies, none of the steals. This country would have been overthrown and handed over to the Russians, because we know Hillary Clinton bought and paid Uranium One, now being investigated. We find out that her email situation is now being reopened and investigated again. This woman is as crooked as the day is long, and all of the Democrats are involved with her. We've got to win, and the biggest landslide there ever was in 2020 to show the Democrats that we are serious, and that we the people are serious, that we're serious about what we want as a country. We want law and order. We want border security. We want the hating and the fighting and the racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. We want all that to stop. And that's not on our side. That's on your guys' side. Antifa needs to be arrested. Sanctuary cities need to be ended. Sanctuary state of California. I don't know how long you guys are going to put up with that, but that absolutely needs to end as well. Oh, my goodness. With that being said, guys, for Freedom Friday, I'll just tell you what, it's all coming to a head. It's all coming to a light. Overstock.com's CEO now resigned. Patrick can't take it no more. How many more deep staters? How many more people that were involved that can't take it anymore, and they want to see their country restored, law and order restored? If you're out there, you absolutely need to come out. You need to tell your story and tell what happened so that we can really not destroy the Democrat Party, really wreck the people and lock them up that were involved in this attempted coup and the overthrow of a duly elected president, Donald J. Trump. So as we get going, well, it's out the weekend, guys. You have a good evening. Enjoy your friends and your family. I'll see you next week. Peace out.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.